Ladies and gentlemen, the early morning, before the world awakens, is a sacred time filled with immense spiritual potential. Fajr is not just a prayer, it is a gateway to blessings, guidance, and sustenance. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that the angels witness those who rise early and engage with Allah sincerely, and that Allah's mercy descends in abundance during these hours. There is a special energy in the quiet of dawn, a stillness that allows the heart to connect with its Creator without distraction. When we rise for Fajr, we step into a sacred rhythm that aligns our soul with the divine, positioning us to receive the provision, guidance, and opportunities that Allah has written for us, often in ways we cannot yet imagine. After Fajr, there are 9 transformative actions that a believer can perform to maximize the blessings of this sacred time. The first is gratitude upon waking, acknowledging Allah's mercy for giving you life, breath, and the chance to witness a new day. Gratitude shifts the heart from lack to abundance and opens the door to greater provision. The second is sincere dua, asking Allah for guidance, sustenance, protection, and fulfillment of your needs with certainty and humility. The third is recitation of the Qur'an, even a few verses, letting the divine words penetrate your heart and provide clarity, healing, and direction. The fourth is dhikr, remembrance of Allah, speaking softly to Allah with phrases of praise and glorification, reinforcing awareness and connection. Fifth is reflective journaling or silent reflection, taking a moment to organize your intentions, assess your goals, and align your actions with your faith. Sixth is making a plan for the day while invoking Allah's help, ensuring that your efforts are combined with divine guidance. Seventh is early action on important tasks, taking advantage of the calm and focus of the morning to start your day productively. The eighth is reaching out with kindness or assistance, even in small ways, as the Prophet ﷺ reminded us that good deeds performed in the morning carry multiplied reward. Ninth is prayerful visualization, imagining the successful outcomes you hope for, all while leaving the results in Allah's hands, trusting in His perfect wisdom. Consistency in performing these 9 habits after Fajr brings subtle yet profound transformations. People often report that doors open unexpectedly, solutions arrive for long-standing problems, and guidance comes through conversations, chance encounters, or sudden inspirations. These blessings may manifest as financial provision, emotional clarity, career opportunities, or improved relationships, and often arrive from directions the heart never anticipated. The key is sincerity and consistency. When the heart is fully engaged in devotion and trust, Allah's mercy flows in ways that far exceed human effort alone. Recognizing Allah's signs is also essential. Sometimes a small feeling of peace, a sudden idea, or an opportunity appearing unexpectedly is a divine nudge. These signs are subtle, but they are proof that Allah is actively arranging circumstances for your benefit. A heart aligned with morning worship is primed to notice these blessings and respond to them wisely. The early morning becomes not just a time of personal devotion but a channel through which divine providence and mercy can flow into every aspect of life. Finally, the power of Fajr and these 9 actions rests on trust, patience, and surrender. When you surrender your plans and desires to Allah's will, act with sincerity, and remain patient for the outcome, you cultivate a state where blessings are not only received but appreciated and sustained. The heart that trusts Allah completely is a heart that sees opportunity in difficulty, blessing in delay, and guidance in every step. Rising for Fajr and committing to these 9 habits transforms the ordinary morning into a launchpad for divine provision, guidance, and peace, preparing you to witness Allah's blessings in ways both immediate and enduring. The early morning, particularly the time of Fajr, is one of the most spiritually powerful moments in a believer's day. It is a time when the world is still quiet, the air is fresh, and the heart is most receptive to Allah's mercy and guidance. There is a serenity in the pre-dawn hours that cannot be found at any other time. The distractions of the world have not yet taken hold, and the mind and heart are naturally attuned to reflection, devotion, and connection with the Creator. The Qur'an emphasizes the importance of remembering Allah at all times, and the Prophet ﷺ highlighted the special significance of Fajr, teaching that those who rise for this prayer are under Allah's protection and receive blessings throughout their day. This is why the early morning holds a unique position for those seeking not only spiritual growth, but also divine provision and guidance. Rising for Fajr is an act of prioritization, a declaration that your relationship with Allah comes before sleep, comfort, or worldly distractions. It demonstrates a heart willing to make sacrifices for the sake of devotion, discipline, and connection with the one who provides all sustenance. The physical act of leaving the warmth of the bed to stand in prayer is symbolic of a deeper spiritual awakening. It is a heart preparing itself to receive Allah's mercy, a mind aligning itself with divine timing, and a soul opening itself to guidance and blessing. By beginning the day with this sacred act, the believer positions themselves to receive opportunities, clarity, and provision that often manifest in ways beyond immediate perception. The act of Fajr is not only worship, it is a magnet for divine favor, drawing blessings toward those who rise early with sincerity and devotion. The spiritual power of Fajr is also evident in the way it sets the tone for the day. Those who consistently engage in this practice often report increased focus, mental clarity, and emotional stability throughout the day. The calm and quiet of the early morning allows for reflection, gratitude, and intention setting, which prepares the believer to approach life's challenges with patience and wisdom. In this way, Fajr acts as both a spiritual and practical reset, clearing the heart of anxiety, confusion, and distraction. By starting the day in alignment with Allah, the believer is able to recognize opportunities and guidance that may otherwise go unnoticed, making decisions with clarity and confidence while maintaining reliance on divine wisdom. Fajr also has a protective aspect, as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that those who pray this prayer are under the care of Allah and His angels throughout the day. This protection is both spiritual and practical, creating an environment in which blessings and provision can flow more freely. The angels record the deeds and supplications of the believer during this time, amplifying the impact of worship and devotion. Opportunities for guidance, career advancement, financial provision, and personal growth often arise in ways that coincide with this spiritual alignment, demonstrating that Fajr is not merely a personal ritual but a gateway through which divine mercy operates in tangible aspects of life. Furthermore, the time of Fajr is uniquely suited for reflection and connection with the Qur'an. The heart is more receptive to the words of Allah before the distractions of daily life set in. Even a brief recitation at this time can provide clarity, peace, and guidance, preparing the believer to navigate the day with focus and wisdom. This connection between spiritual practice and practical outcomes illustrates that Fajr is both a moment of devotion and a strategic alignment with the forces of divine mercy and provision. The early morning becomes a sacred window in which the heart, mind, and soul are synchronized with Allah's plan, allowing blessings, guidance, and risk to flow in ways that are immediate, subtle, and transformative. Ultimately, the spiritual power of Fajr is in its ability to transform not only the heart but also the believer's relationship with life, challenges, and provision. It serves as a reminder that the day begins not with worldly concerns, but with alignment to the one who holds all affairs in his control. Rising for Fajr is the first step in a day that can be filled with guidance, mercy, and abundance, creating a foundation upon which every action, decision, and opportunity can be met with clarity, purpose, and divine support. The second keynote focuses on the 9 essential habits to perform right after Fajr, each designed to align the heart, mind, and actions with Allah's mercy and provision, creating a fertile ground for blessings to flow. The first habit is gratitude immediately upon waking. Before speaking to anyone or attending to worldly matters, a believer should pause and reflect on the countless favors Allah has granted, the gift of life, health, family, and the opportunity to witness a new day. Gratitude is more than a polite acknowledgement, it is a conscious recognition that Allah sustains us in every breath and action. When the heart begins the day in gratitude, it shifts from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, making it receptive to divine provision. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes that those who are grateful will be granted more, and this early morning practice acts as a key that opens the door to greater sustenance, guidance, and opportunities throughout the day. The second habit is sincere dua, a personal and heartfelt conversation with Allah. After Fajr, the quiet of the early morning allows the heart to express its needs, desires, and fears directly to the Creator. This is the time to ask for guidance, sustenance, protection, and resolution to challenges. Dua performed during these hours carries a special weight because the believer's heart is free from distractions and fully focused on Allah. Real-life experiences show that those who engage consistently in dua after Fajr often witness doors opening unexpectedly, a job opportunity, financial relief, or guidance for personal matters, reflecting Allah's responsiveness to sincere supplication. The effectiveness of dua is not only in the words spoken but also in the alignment of the heart with divine will and the believer's trust in Allah's perfect timing. The third habit is recitation of the Quran, even if it is just a few verses. The early morning provides an ideal environment for reflection and absorption of the Quran's guidance. The words of Allah carry spiritual energy, clarity, and healing, and when recited after Fajr, they penetrate the heart in a unique way, influencing thoughts, intentions, and actions. Quranic recitation strengthens the connection between the believer and Allah, providing guidance for decisions and clarity for challenges that arise throughout the day. Many believers have noticed that consistent morning recitation correlates with unexpected insights, solutions to long-standing problems, and improved decision-making, demonstrating that the Quran not only nourishes the soul but also prepares the heart to recognize opportunities for rizq. The fourth habit is Dhikr, remembrance of Allah, a continuous reflection on His names and attributes. Engaging in Dhikr after Fajr cultivates mindfulness and a sense of divine presence, fostering peace and resilience as the day unfolds. The fifth habit is reflective journaling or silent contemplation, where one evaluates intentions, plans for the day, and aligns personal goals with spiritual priorities. This practice enhances clarity and ensures that daily actions are purposeful and mindful. The sixth habit is planning the day while invoking Allah's help, combining practical effort with reliance on divine guidance, demonstrating the balance between action and trust. The seventh habit is early action on important tasks, leveraging the quiet and focus of the morning to accomplish priorities efficiently and effectively. The eighth is acts of kindness or assistance, even small gestures, which the Prophet ﷺ emphasized, carry multiplied rewards and blessings, creating ripples of goodness throughout the day. The ninth habit is prayerful visualization, imagining desired outcomes while leaving the results to Allah, reinforcing trust and aligning intentions with divine wisdom. When performed consistently, these 9 habits create a framework in which spiritual alignment, practical action, and divine provision intersect. Each habit reinforces the other. Gratitude primes the heart for dua. Dua enhances receptivity to Quranic guidance, and reflection and action channel the blessings into tangible results. Together they establish a morning routine that transforms the early hours into a launchpad for divine mercy, guidance, and provision, creating a life in which both spiritual and worldly needs are harmoniously nurtured. Real-life examples demonstrate the profound impact of consistently practicing the 9 habits after Fajr, showing how small intentional actions in the early morning can lead to transformative blessings in every aspect of life. Consider the story of a young woman who had been struggling with career stagnation. Every day felt repetitive, filled with uncertainty and frustration, and despite her hard work, progress seemed slow. She decided to implement the 9 post-Fajr practices, beginning with gratitude for a new day, following it with sincere dua, reciting the Quran, engaging in dhikr, reflecting on her intentions, planning her day, taking early action on tasks, performing small acts of kindness, and visualizing her goals while leaving the outcome to Allah. Over time she noticed subtle but significant changes. Her focus sharpened, her confidence grew, and she began to recognize opportunities that had previously gone unnoticed. Within a few months, an unexpected promotion materialized, a project she had been working on received recognition, and new professional connections emerged, all aligning with her sincere morning devotion and effort. Similarly, a father struggling to provide for his family experienced remarkable shifts after committing to the 9 Fajr practices. He began with a simple expression of gratitude upon waking, asking Allah for sustenance and guidance. He recited Quranic verses, reflected silently, and engaged in small acts of charity. At first the changes were subtle, a sense of calm, clarity in decision-making, and a growing awareness of opportunities. Soon he noticed unexpected financial assistance from friends and relatives, timely job openings, and solutions to long-standing challenges in his household. These blessings, which could easily have been dismissed as coincidence, were direct results of aligning his heart and actions with Allah during the most spiritually potent hours of the day. Students, too, have found that these morning practices have a transformative effect on learning and personal development. A college student struggling with complex subjects implemented these habits consistently. After Fajr, she expressed gratitude, made dua for guidance, and recited Quran passages that inspired focus and patience. She reflected on her daily intentions and visualized understanding her coursework with clarity. Over time, her concentration improved, she retained information more effectively, and she began to solve problems with greater ease. Exams and assignments that had once felt overwhelming became manageable, and her academic performance improved steadily. This demonstrates that the blessings following Fajr are not limited to material wealth. They extend to clarity of thought, mental resilience, and success in endeavors aligned with one's purpose. Even seemingly small actions, when performed consistently after Fajr, can yield remarkable results. Someone who takes a few minutes to perform dhikr, express gratitude, or plan their day, may find that decisions flow more smoothly, opportunities appear at the right time, and challenges are easier to navigate. A quiet moment of reflection after Fajr can illuminate solutions that had seemed impossible the day before, demonstrating that the early morning is a conduit for both spiritual and practical guidance. The cumulative effect of these 9 habits is profound. Gratitude primes the heart to recognize abundance. Dua strengthens reliance on Allah. Quranic recitation provides guidance and clarity. And reflection, planning and early action create readiness for opportunities. Acts of kindness and visualization align intentions with divine will, creating an environment where Allah's provision flows naturally. Each of these actions contributes to a holistic framework in which faith, effort and divine timing intersect, allowing the believer to experience blessings that are immediate, subtle and life-changing. These examples show that the early morning is not just a time for ritual, it is a period of alignment with divine mercy, a moment when sincere devotion transforms the believer's ability to receive, recognize and act upon blessings. The heart trained to engage in these 9 practices becomes a magnet for opportunities, guidance and sustenance, illustrating that when faith meets consistent action at the right time, the results are both profound and transformative. Recognizing Allah's signs after Fajr is essential for understanding how divine provision and guidance unfold in the life of a believer. These signs are often subtle, appearing in forms that may seem ordinary but carry extraordinary significance when viewed through the lens of faith and awareness. One of the first indicators is an internal shift, a sudden sense of calm, clarity, or renewed hope that arises without an external cause. This is a direct reflection of the alignment created by performing the 9 post-Fajr habits. When the heart begins the day with gratitude, sincere dua, Quranic recitation, dhikr, reflection and visualization, it becomes receptive to subtle signals from Allah, allowing guidance and opportunities to be perceived more clearly. The believer starts noticing moments of inspiration, intuition, and clarity that guide decisions, illuminate paths, and provide reassurance that Allah is actively arranging circumstances for their benefit. Another common sign is how relationships and interactions begin to change. A person who consistently engages in morning devotion often experiences more harmonious interactions with colleagues, family members, or even strangers. Situations that previously caused friction may now resolve more easily, or helpful guidance may appear through conversations that seem coincidental but are, in fact, divinely orchestrated. For instance, a chance meeting with a mentor or an unexpected word of advice from a friend can provide the insight needed to overcome a challenge, advance in a career, or make a wise decision. These seemingly small interactions are often subtle confirmations of Allah's provision and guidance, reinforcing the believer's reliance on Him and validating the sincerity of their morning devotion. Opportunities and circumstances themselves often serve as signs. A job posting that appears at just the right moment, a financial solution arriving unexpectedly, or a long-standing problem resolving with ease, are all examples of how Allah's mercy manifests in the life of a devoted believer. These events, which may appear random to the untrained eye, are signs for those who rise early and align their hearts through sincere post-Fajr habits. The believer learns to recognize these moments as blessings that were prepared and timed by Allah, allowing them to act upon them with confidence and gratitude. Recognizing these signs requires mindfulness, reflection, and a heart attuned to divine guidance, demonstrating that provision is not just about human effort, but about alignment with Allah's will. Even small changes in intuition or perception can signal divine guidance. A gentle nudge to act, a sudden feeling of clarity, or a thought that prevents a mistake may all be signs of Allah preparing a path for provision or protection. A believer might feel encouraged to reach out to someone, pursue an opportunity, or delay an action, only to discover that these choices lead to beneficial outcomes. These moments highlight that signs are not always external. They can manifest as inner guidance, intuition, or sudden clarity that steers a person towards success, safety, or sustenance. Ease and flow in daily life often indicate divine favor as well. Tasks that once seemed overwhelming may become manageable, decisions that were difficult may suddenly feel clear, and challenges that appeared insurmountable may be resolved with minimal effort. This is a sign that Allah is actively preparing circumstances and smoothing paths for the believer who engages in morning devotion. It demonstrates that true risk encompasses not just material wealth, but also clarity, guidance, peace of mind, and the ability to recognize and act on opportunities. The subtle unfolding of events after Fajr acts as both preparation and confirmation. It prepares the believer's heart and environment to receive blessings and confirms that Allah's plan is in motion, responding to their sincerity, consistency, and alignment with divine will. The key to recognizing these signs is attentiveness, gratitude, and reflection. By maintaining focus and awareness after Fajr, the believer learns to notice opportunities, guidance and protection in ways that might otherwise go unnoticed. Every subtle shift,
Every unexpected ease, and every coincidental encounter, can be a reminder of Allah's mercy, a signal that blessings are arriving, and a call to maintain trust, patience and consistency. The early morning becomes a lens through which the believer perceives Allah's orchestration, ensuring that divine guidance and provision are not only received, but also recognized and acted upon with wisdom. Surrender, trust and consistency form the foundation for receiving Allah's blessings and provision, and their significance is magnified when practiced after Fajr. When a believer rises early, engages in gratitude, dua, Quranic recitation, dhikr, reflection, and the other essential habits, they cultivate a heart that is prepared to surrender fully to Allah's plan. Surrender does not imply passivity, rather it is an active recognition that human effort alone cannot dictate outcomes, and that Allah's wisdom and timing are perfect. A heart that surrenders understands that the one who orchestrates the heavens and the earth is fully aware of our needs, our potential, and the most beneficial path for our lives. This surrender allows the believer to act with clarity, confidence and purpose, releasing the anxiety and fear that often accompany uncertainty, and opening the heart to recognize the blessings that Allah has already prepared. Trust is the natural companion of surrender. After performing the Fajr rituals, the believer is encouraged to place absolute reliance on Allah for the fulfillment of their needs, both seen and unseen. Trust means believing that Allah knows the precise timing, form and magnitude of the provision that is best suited for the individual. Many people rush, worry or struggle to control outcomes because their trust is incomplete. In contrast, a heart cultivated through Fajr practices is more resilient, patient, and confident that the results will unfold according to divine wisdom. This trust does not replace effort, it enhances it by aligning human action with divine orchestration. Decisions are made with clarity, interactions carry purpose, and obstacles are approached with patience, because the believer understands that the ultimate outcome rests in Allah's hands. Consistency amplifies the effects of surrender and trust. Performing these morning practices regularly establishes a rhythm in which the heart, mind, and soul are aligned with divine guidance. It trains the believer to maintain focus, awareness, and receptivity to Allah's signs, even when challenges arise. Real-life examples abound of individuals who, through consistent Fajr devotion, witness transformations in their careers, relationships, and overall well-being. Small daily acts, repeated with sincerity, accumulate over time, creating an environment where guidance, opportunity and sustenance flow naturally. Consistency is the bridge between intention and manifestation. It demonstrates commitment and discipline, which in turn attracts divine favor and provision. Surrender, trust and consistency also create a protective spiritual environment. When the heart is free from doubt, anxiety and impatience, the believer is better able to navigate life with wisdom and resilience. Opportunities that might have been missed due to hesitation or distraction are now recognized and acted upon. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming become manageable, and the believer experiences ease in situations that previously caused stress or confusion. The combination of these qualities strengthens the heart, allowing it to remain steadfast in devotion, mindful of guidance, and receptive to provision in both expected and unexpected forms. Furthermore, the alignment of these qualities after Fajr cultivates a spiritual magnetism that draws blessings in tangible and intangible ways. Material opportunities, emotional clarity, solutions to problems, and personal growth all become more accessible to the heart trained in early morning devotion. The believer begins to notice synchronicities, guidance, and support that might otherwise be overlooked, understanding that true risk encompasses more than material wealth. It includes peace, clarity, protection, guidance, and the ability to act upon opportunities effectively. Ultimately, surrender, trust, and consistency after Fajr transform the believer's relationship with both the day and the divine. They enable the heart to release fear and doubt, to rely fully on Allah's wisdom, and to maintain steadfastness in routine devotion. By rising early and cultivating these qualities, the believer positions themselves to experience blessings that are immediate, life-changing, and aligned with divine will. The early morning becomes not only a period of worship, but also a time when the heart, mind, and circumstances are harmonized to receive, recognize, and act upon Allah's mercy, ensuring that the believer's life unfolds with clarity, provision, and divine support.